Hey everybody, I'm Ross Stewart with Stewart Media Digital. I've been a professional photographer for a little over 5 years now, and like many of you, especially if you're just getting started, I shoot a little bit of everything. So today I would like to show you what is in my bag when I shoot corporate events. First, I'll talk a little bit about the bag itself. This is just the Amazon Basics large camera bag. I've got different bags for different purposes. I've got travel bags, smaller bags. But for corporate events, I really like this one. It holds everything I need and it's relatively affordable. So now opening up the bag, I have two Sony full frame cameras. I've got the Sony a7R III and the a7 III. It doesn't really matter what two cameras you have. I like full frame, they're a little bit better in low light. These new Sonys have really good autofocus. But again, it's more about the user than the gear. So now I take three lenses with me. This is the Sony 70 to 200 G Master 2.8. This lens is really great for really a lot of things at corporate events. If there's a speaker on stage, if there's a networking hour and you want to get some candids, it's really nice to be able to step back, zoom in to 200 millimeters, and get the shots you need without being right in everybody's face. Next up, I've got the Sony 16 to 35 2.8 G Master. I used to carry the 24 to 70, but I really like having the extra range of the 16. It also really helps for getting those big shots of the entire venue, the entire space. Sometimes clients really like it if there's, you're shooting a convention with maybe thousands of people seated and there's a stage in the background. If you can get that big shot of everything, sometimes clients really like that. And also being able to, one of the reasons I really like being able to zoom all the way out to 16 millimeters is there's situations where I'm walking around a cocktail hour and it's really crowded, people are standing around, and I get tapped on the shoulder and someone's like, hey, can you take a picture of us? And it's a group of 8 to 10 people. Even at 24 millimeters, I can't quite step far enough back without bumping into people to get everyone in the frame. So having that little extra range can really be useful. And then finally for lenses, I've got the 50 millimeter 1.4 Sony Zeiss lens. And this is really great if you're in a situation where you don't want to use a ton of flash because you're worried it might be disruptive and you really need an extra couple stops of low light performance. Being able to put it at 1.4, walk around and get those nice bright shots, even in really low light situations, can be really useful. And I choose a 50 to take with me because you can step back and get wider shots, or you can step in and get a little bit closer. 50 is a really nice focal length for prime lenses to be multi-purpose. And you'll notice I take the lens hoods with me, even though a lot of these shoots are indoors, just because I like that they protect the front element of the lens. I notice a lot of times, even when especially when I have two cameras swinging off my shoulders, and I grab one to take a shot real quick and the other one's swinging around, sometimes they bump into stuff. And these lenses are pretty durable, but the front element, the glass in the front, I really like having that extra protection, and the lens hoods do a really good job. You can even see some of the love that my lens hoods get from just bumping into stuff. It happens. Next, just a flash unit. I do like my low light lenses. It keep you from having to be disruptive using flash all the time. But sometimes, especially for group posed photos, like I was talking about earlier, where people grab you and they're like, hey, can you grab a photo of this group? Or a few people are on stage at the end receiving an award and you just need that nice even light. Flash, really perfect for that. And I do always couple it with my 16 to 35. And and then flash modifier. This is just the Gary Fong light sphere. A lot of people have mixed feelings about this, and honestly, I'm one of those people. I don't use it for any kind of studio work, obviously, but for events, it's really nice to couple with just a standard flash unit just to make sure to get nice, even, reliable lighting. And then finally, for the main part of the bag, here I just have a dual camera strap. This camera strap is, I think, something like $12 on Amazon. It's made of nylon, so it's nice and durable. And if you're carrying around cameras all day and you might be worried about getting sweaty, you don't have to worry about this thing starting to stink or anything like that. The nylon is really nice. And yeah, you just screw the cameras onto the bottom and you've got two on your shoulders. And then over in this part of my bag, the front section, I have something you should never forget to bring: extra batteries. These new Sony Z-type batteries do last a really long time, but it's always really nice to have extra batteries. I have at least one for each of my camera bodies and a set of extra batteries for my flash unit. And then finally, because especially at conventions, you're in a hotel or you're out and about somewhere, and let's say you want to put your camera bag down under a table or in the employee room or something like that, it is nice to have an extra bit of security. So I put one of these Tile GPS trackers in a separate pocket in my camera bag. They're Bluetooth GPS trackers, and you sync it with your phone, and if your bag walks off, it can help you find and recover it, because what's in the bag is so valuable. It's really nice to have that extra peace of mind. So that's it. If you're interested in any of this stuff, please check out my links below and be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks.